Okay, we're gonna try something stupid today. We know that I can target train the fire skink, but I wonder if I can habituate my OBT to go to the ball when it's feeding time. Only one way to find out. Let's go for an adventure. All right, now the tripod's all set up. We got good old reliable red ball here, some extra long tongs, and everybody's favorite thing to feed an OBT as superworm. So before he gets this, what I want to do is I want to see, because I know he's already kind of habituated to turn to the front here. This is a very unscientific experiment we got going on here. I want to see if I can't get him. Ah! Yeah, you got me too, buddy. Don't worry. This is. I'm going to try to leave the red ball there and see if he'll calm down. I'm just going to put it right there. We're going to hang out here for a minute. I'm going to try not to move any more than necessary. I'm going to leave everything just the way it is. And see if he will grab that superworm or not. If that red ball doesn't move. This is kind of an experiment in seeing what a tarantula can overcome, what they can habituate to, and if some of our preconceived notions about them being able to learn or just being kind of a basic scared little critter that is occasionally tolerant to our behavior is true or not. So I'm just going to give this a couple minutes. I may have to put this on hyperlapse just to make life easier. But we'll see what happens here in a minute. As you can see, he did get over as you can see after watching the hyperlapse, he did get over the presence of that red ball in his enclosure. He's got the mealworm. I'm sure you saw him grab it if you watched the hyperlapse. But he's still a bit defensive, so I'm not going to remove the ball yet until he is moved out of that area, because I don't want him to get spooked from it. I just want to leave it the way it is. When he removes himself from that area and goes to a different corner, then I will take the red ball out. I'm doing this kind of odd little experiment based on what I know about positive reinforcement in dogs and the process of habituating them to new things that they may not be familiar with. Granted, a tarantula is not a dog, but I'm going to try and go with the same principles of positive reinforcement and not moving the scary object until the in this case, tarantula is comfortable with it or has moved on and is not in a position to react to it anymore. And once we've gotten past that point and there's no more reaction, then I will move the red ball. And the next time I feed him, we'll go through the same process again. And I'll post probably weekly or probably weekly, a couple times a week, little updates about how this is going. And we'll see if we can't habituate the little Pteronoculus marinus, the orange baboon tarantula over here, to moving to that corner where the red ball is now in order to get his meals. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to cut this off until he moves away, and when he does, I'll come back and finish up the video. Alrighty, if you look closely, he's eaten his superworm. He's come out of his defensive posture finally. And here in another second or two, he will decide it's safe enough to take a scoot off into his side that's just off camera to the right. And 1, 2, 3, he's gone. There you go. If you watched it to the video at this point and you watched through the hyperlapse points, you could see that his body softened as he had time to sit there and process out the what was going on, and he moved off into the hide over here. I'm not going to touch his enclosure, but he moved off into that seed pod that's kind of his new hide because he outgrew the other one. I'm going to have to redo some of this here shortly. I'm just not entirely sure the best way to go about getting him out of there so I can redo the enclosure, but I will figure that out when the time comes. But now that he is settled and out of sight, I will move my target ball, which was a bit of a threat to him. And this way he will not be spooked by it again. So we had what I'll call a successful little session with him. And we're going to try this again in a couple days on his next feeding. And hopefully it'll take him less time to go through that process from if he gets spooked to coming back down and being a bit more relaxed and able to just move back into his hide, back into his enclosure, and enjoy his meal and relax for a little bit. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it kind of hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it somewhat kind of informative. I'm trying to get better at these videos. Hopefully I get there eventually. But we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. See if we can't habituate this Mr. Grumpy Pants back here and get him habituated to being able to understand that when he sees the red ball, he can go towards it to get food or just follow it around, kind of like what I did with the fire skink. Don't know if it'll work. There's been some experiments that say that tarantulas can learn certain things. And then there's the idea that they're just kind of dumb little critters and they don't really know much of anything. And they can't really be trained, they can't be habituated to things, but we're going to test it out, we're going to find out together, and we'll see what happens. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and please subscribe. Leave comments if you want to know more.